All praises due to the Most High family. We back with another Acres anime review. I just finished watching episode 17 of To Be Hero X. And so we dove into Lil Johnny's backstory. And so I'm excited to see how the end of this episode was kind of some tea. Some drama, right? I'm interested to see how this all ties in to the Queen story, to the Ghostblade story. So, okay, here's how we start. So, just in reference to the last episode, we had Ghostblade and Lolly and Lil Johnny all accompanying the research team to investigate this alien spacecraft. And so it turns out that Lil Johnny's dad, family, had also investigated the spacecraft back in the gap. And so that's where Big Johnny came from. So Lil Johnny's dad is investigating, and out of nowhere, we see a creature like jump him, like ambush him. And it turns out that that's Big Johnny. So we see that Lil Johnny's mom is sick. And so after his investigation, Lil Johnny's dad rushes back because he knows that his wife don't have much time left, right? She's very sick, and the doctors say her condition's getting worse. So basically by the time he get there, he trying to help because he's actually a healer. He has healing powers. And so he's trying to help her survive, but she ends up dying on the medical bed, right? And it's in front of Little Johnny, so it's actually really traumatic for Little Johnny, like he mentioned in the episode before, that he lost his parents, like both, like not at the same time, but both of them right in front of him. And so because Lil Johnny's dad is a healer and he was unable to heal his wife back to health, he feels like he needs to retire. He's like, what good is being a hero if I couldn't save my wife, the person I love the most, right? He's like, what's the point in being a hero? In fact, him being a hero took him away from being with his wife. Really, he was there for her last moment, but he could have been there more and potentially could have helped her better had he not been busy with this hero stuff. So other than that, we see the beginnings of Little Johnny and Big Johnny's relationship. And so Big Johnny looks like a cat. He be eating everything. Whatever he can get his hands on, he's eating it, right? Just like a baby, like a toddler, like an infant. And so they have a playful relationship. They have, he's interested in raising this thing. So he kind of takes over the caregiving responsibility from his dad, even though his dad found Big Johnny. Little Johnny and Big Johnny now are tied at the hip. So now also, Little Johnny's dad was a top 10 hero. He was staying at the Hero Tower. So, but he decides to retire. He leaves the Hero Tower, and he takes Little Johnny and Big Johnny, and they go out into the country to live this retired life. So they get them a cabin, they start cleaning it up. They just start doing, their own little things, spending time together. They made a little grave site to honor Little Johnny's mom. And so we start interacting with some of the locals a little bit, particularly these kids. They heard that something was going on, that some outsiders had moved into this small village. And so these kids are kind of like picking on Little Johnny on the first time that they run into each other. And this is the first time that we've seen a hint at what Big Johnny can do, his potential, right? So they kind of cast a net over Big Johnny, and he's trapped. And so little Johnny is trying to fight off 3 boys really at the same time, which, is really difficult. So he ends up kind of losing, and this frustrates and upsets Big Johnny. So now Big Johnny kind of activates its powers a little bit and bust out the net, and this scared the boys off. So they run off, right? So then we get like a little time lapse. Little Johnny, Big Johnny, they're growing up. It's been a few years. And we get a visit from Vortex, who at this time, in this time period when this is all happening, is the number 1 hero. He's X, right? And so he was the one that was kind of upset that little Johnny's dad was retiring. He's like, you really gonna quit being a hero? Like you're gonna stop and you're needed? I need you? That was Vortex, who was upset that little Johnny's dad was retiring. So after a few years pass, Vortex come and visit little Johnny and his dad, and he's trying to convince him to re-enlist, like come be a hero again. And little Johnny's dad is saying, nah, it's too late. My trust value's down, so my powers aren't what they used to be. And he also says, he's like, but you're X, like, so that means you took down the previous X. He's like, what do you need me for? You're number 1, you're him. And X is upset, Vortex is upset, and so he crushed a teacup. They were having tea while having this discussion. He's frustrated that he can't get little Johnny's dad to re-enlist, so he crushes the teacup and he leaves. Okay, now while they having this discussion, little Johnny and Big Johnny, they dip out of the house to meet these little boys that bullied them back in the day. Now they friends. And so they came with comic books and all this, like these magazines type things, showing who little Johnny's dad was. And so they discover, like, oh, your dad was a top hero. Like, that's crazy. He's super cool. Like, why did they learn that he's a healer. And so one of the kids in a boneheaded move asked, well, why didn't your dad heal your mom? Like, that's, if he's a healer, why didn't he do that? And then they also see Vortex, and they think Vortex is extra cool because they recognize that he's X. He's the top hero. So anyway, they hang out after a while. Little Johnny and Big Johnny go back to the crib. But little Johnny, he's like, oh, wow, there's gashes in the trees. Like, there's a bunch of damage around the trees and the woods and stuff. And he's like, wow, it looks like something went down here. And so he rushes back to the cabin, and he sees that his dad is dead. And so he's thinking that, I don't know. We don't know yet. That was the tea at the end of the episode. We don't know yet who actually did this. But because we know Vortex came to visit, we're thinking that Vortex did this because he's upset that we didn't join him. So then, because little Johnny's very upset, his dad is dead, and he's thinking, wow, this guy did it. So I'm gonna find him and I'm gonna avenge my father. So Big Johnny responds to those feelings, and he transforms into this big old monster. And I don't know it's been a minute since I've seen that episode. Let me know if y'all know for sure. But this looked like the same monster that when Queen was traveling out there. This looked like the monster that popped up in front of Queen. But so he turned in like this big old Kurama-like fox and start rampaging off of little Johnny's feelings. And so he start rampaging. The people in the village are going crazy. They're like, oh my gosh, they're panicking. Vortex pull up and he start handling the issue. He's like, I just can't let you destroy the village. But then while that's going on, Ghostblade is there peeping the showdown. So, and by the damage, it looked like that was a Ghostblade job. We know he's an assassin. It looked like a Ghostblade job to me, but little Johnny's thinking that it was a Vortex job. So I don't know. That was the tea at the end of the episode. That was the drama. I hope next episode clears that up. But that was like the earliest backstory for little Johnny and Big Johnny. So all praises due to the Most High. Peace and love, family.